All right, let's rock and roll. Hopefully everybody had a great week this week and is having a good Aloha Friday. I think we definitely have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So I'd like to kind of get right to it and open it to everybody for leads, needs, good deeds. Does anybody have anything? I know there's a bunch of people that are in contract or looking to get into contract on a few. What's up, Gene? How's it going, brother?
Hey, how's it, Corey? Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. Where are you? Are you in California or Hawaii?
I just got back home this week. I was out there for like 6 months, so.
Oh, okay.
Back to the warm.
Yeah, I bet. How is it over there?
It was good, man. It's good. It's a lot going on. You know, they're doing a lot of green energy projects out there. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and how's the market over there?
It's well, you see some prices coming down, but still a little, I don't know. Like I wouldn't really touch California because to me it seems overpriced.
Yeah. Yep. It's just like we're watching Vegas really close, and the market just seems confused. It's just starting to see price increases, at the same time price decreases. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting to watch.
Yeah, we're starting to look at Midwest.
Yeah.
Maybe pivot to single family rentals, step away from short term for a bit.
Gotcha. Well, it's good to see you, man. Anybody got anything? If not, I got a good deed to share, which involves one of our guests. So I just want to I guess highlight the fact, because I know that he wouldn't, and he didn't highlight himself, is our very own guest, Kolaya Fuzzy Jardine. So he was apparently recognized, like, when was that, Zasha? I gotta ask Zasha.
Probably like last month, right, Fuzzy? Or maybe a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Well, Fuzzy was recognized and awarded. I think it was a grant, right? Fuzzy, can you talk about the award you were given that you told no one about?
Yeah, so that just kind of proves that if you pound the pavement and kind of give, people see what you do. And one nonprofit organization that I go to get lines of credit called Hawaiian Community Assets, Jeff Gilbert he brought the Oista Corporation from Colorado. They're a native group, nonprofit organization, and they also gave the Twiggy, the girl out in Waianae, they gave them like $3 million too. So they went to each island and gave money or donated money towards, the cause of good deeds, right? And since I've been doing affordable houses, they came up to the Big Island and I showed them all the projects, and yeah, they awarded me $25K to buy me a brand new truck.
No, they didn't. Not a truck.
No, they awarded me to use that money to keep doing what I'm doing, which is build affordable houses for our local or our community.
I love it.
Yeah, and that's how we kind of touched base with each other, me and Fuzzy. He actually was like, "Hey, Zasha, I'm flying to Maui, gonna meet up with these people. You should come to lunch." And I was like, "Okay," driving down, went down to Kihei, and they were like awarding him this grant. I was like, hello, this is a special moment. But him being so like low key and humble, and I was, it was just amazing just to see that and see these other kind of native cultures taking what we're doing in Hawaii into effect to try to implement that as well into their own areas. And it's just, we always think about Hawaii and Hawaiians, but there's other native cultures out there too that are having the same struggles as we are. And just to see him have that effect, or even a few investors across the islands who are providing affordable housing and making that apparent that that's a need everywhere. Just kind of amazing to see.
Yeah. As I've kind of progressed through my career, it's you know how your whys change over time, right? And I found it like kind of I'm starting to get a new sense of purpose, and it's right alongside of what you guys are going to talk about today. That's why we want to support you guys, you know, and what it is education, being out there kind of educating, and while also at the same time not being those who are just educating, right? And they're not actually out there buying properties and helping homeowners and providing lending opportunities for regular people and providing jobs and inventory, which is very important in Hawaii because we're short in inventory, right? So the cost of living comes all the way down to supply and demand. So there are other factors that can affect it, right? Like high interest rates can slow demand, but we're still short in inventory, and we need more housing to counter that. And that's why it's really an honor to have Zasha and Fuzzy on to talk about what they're doing. One, because there's a big need for what they're doing is, you know, trying to develop more single family homes. And two is that Zasha and Fuzzy have been friends of ours for a while now. I've known Fuzzy since I've pretty much gotten into the business, you know, and I remember him and I were bidding on the same property in Kalihi, yeah, Fuzzy. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
That's where I met, like I met you.
From
I met
Dante.
Fuzzy because I called him off his bandit sign. Yeah, so anyways, like it's just been such a inspiration to watch both of their careers like blossom and bloom, and we all kind of in this boat together, right? So with that said, would love to introduce and reintroduce, because Fuzzy and Zasha always, you know, they're friends of ours, always come on. So I'd like to maybe throw it first to Zasha, and then maybe a quick intro, and then to Fuzzy as well. Fuzzy's on the road. Where are you, bro?
Dude, I'm in Ohio.
What you doing in Ohio, bro? What's
Ohio,
it like you doing all the way over there? You lost.
My son, my stepson plays volleyball for Mount Vernon, so we came to watch him play volleyball.
Wow.
And
Oh, that's
also
awesome.
we're gonna look at couple duplexes because it's pretty cheap up here.
You
And
just
then
like write them off, yeah, the trip.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'll be here for the weekend only.
Yeah, so well, you're coming in real good. So I was a little worried you're gonna be on the road, but you're coming in real good. So Zasha, I'll throw it to you, quick intro, and throw them to Fuzzy.
Perfect. Okay, so we kind of did this presentation yesterday, so we can just do like a quick run through just to kind of show you guys who weren't there some pictures and what we're kind of up to right now. Let me just get this present.
Yeah, just
So
crazy. 48
go.
hours, 48 hours, and we only connected with this thing. I thought it was gonna be a meetup, and all of a sudden we have a bus tour. What the hell?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We just had this presentation yesterday at 1 p.m. and already majority of the we're actually gonna tour these new build projects, and majority of the seats are already taken. So if you want to come along on this Hilo project bus tour, we have a little bit more info at the end. But I really wanted to highlight Fuzzy and how he's building, you know, these affordable housings, more than 20 houses right now, projects he has going on. And, you know, I think a lot of people, when they do start sharing about what they're doing, they're just might be a little bit hesitant because they don't, you know how people are going to take it. But I was definitely the force behind him getting out there, because they know what he's doing is so integral and special. And a lot of people need to know that it is possible in Hawaii to, even if you're just like one single investor, to build out and add to the affordable housing issues that's here. This is for yesterday. Turn on your cameras if you haven't already. Just makes it more personable and we can connect with you. So my name is Zasha Smith. I am here on Maui and Hawaii, Invest with Zasha on IG. And I'm an engineer, mother, island girl. I grew up in affordable housing, so I definitely connect with that. And that's one of my passions is, you know, I started off doing flips and getting rentals and renting to people on Section 8 and HUD, all while I was working full time. And then in 2020, I transitioned into doing investing full time. But that has always been a passion of mine and a drive and a why, because I seen my mom struggle. And so I wanted to give back in some sort of way. And that's how I'm doing it through investing. And now that I am at a place where I have a lot of momentum and, you know, I have financial freedom, I'm able to now choose projects where I'm able to give back even more. So I just love that, you know, what Fuzzy is doing. And now we have a bunch of things in the pipeline and in the works. And it's just nice that, you know, you can choose to partner with people that align with your goals and your purpose and really your mission, because my mission is to, you know, build wealth, but also make an impact. Take it away, Fuzzy. You're muted.
Okay, hey, what's up, gangy? I was talking away already. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Uncle Fuzzy here. I've been in the business since 2014 and pretty much became a developer early on in the beginning stages because I linked up with another developer and kind of followed suit. So after I met him, I just kept doing the same thing over and over. But I'm a really good person to network with. I'm a go-giver. I give a lot. And I'll take my shirt off to help the next person. You know, they call it the crabs in the bucket. I'm the one that crawls out and pull people back out too. So anyway, I can help you guys. Just let me know, and then we just want to share what I've been doing because I haven't shared this until like recently. Started doing more content online and following what Zasha was doing, and I was like, Zasha, how do you make all this money doing content? So she said, just press record. I'm like, that's it. So I started pressing record.
Wait, hold on, Fuzzy. Let me just pause you there, okay? Because one thing is that I feel honestly that, well, Zasha and Fuzzy are the right people because they're, you know, local people and they have the same heart, like a good heart. They do business the right way. So in fact, I was telling Fuzzy, I was like, you're the guy, man. Like you need to, like, yes, social media, because I think it coming from you will have a bigger impact than most, you know, and especially when you do it fun and just be you, you know. So like I think I gotta put it out there to everybody on our call to like hold you accountable with your social media, because I want to see that, and I think you'll make a big impact. So anyways, let's go follow Fuzzy's Puka Pockets. Is it Puka Pockets?
Puka Pockets, yep.
Yeah, so
yeah, kind of copying what Bigger Pockets is, but we got no pockets. In this business, I did this business from start with none of my own money, right? I took the loan from the OHA loan to pay for my education with Fortune Builders. So I had a credit card and I took that loan out. So one, I started with none of my own money. I did have a job, so I could pay for the monthly payments. And the first couple deals, you know, got me to where I'm at today, speaking to you guys. So, you know, if you put in the time and put in, you know, time to learn from other people or coaching program, it's worth it if you implement what they teach you. And that's what I did. I just put the time in and just did everything they told me to do. And I guess, you know, one day you guys can be speaking on this thing too. Like,
Yeah.
seriously. Like, but
That's why
you
you're
know,
the guy, man, because like you are, that's why this needs to happen. So everybody's gonna follow you and then we're gonna hold you accountable, bro.
well, you know, I hope I can bring value to everyone, you know, in the local community, you know, like born and raised from Hawaii, because we all know that it's definitely tough to get to that next level, and just seeing my journey, like, can, you know, hopefully it inspires people, and also Zasha too, because even Zasha and you, Corey, too, you guys inspire me. So it's why I keep doing what I do. And then not only that, of course, you know, my main mission today is just to give back, to try and keep that affordable housing alive. And it's, you know, I feel like for the next 10, maybe 20 years, it's still possible to keep it as low as we are, just depending on all the politicians, on, you know, and them bringing on new codes to make building costs more expensive. So, but yeah, anyway, we did the webinar yesterday, which was super cool because it had like 80 people on there. And we're gonna go over, like, we went over the 8 steps that I use to build new houses or affordable housing on the Big Island, and, you know, how I got the grants, which I explained earlier, the nonprofit organizations, and then how I raised money, or how me and Zasha raised money to do these new builds through, like, Hilo Capital was one of the people that I went through. Before, I was opposed. I did not want to do hard money at all. I was just not, because I was just scared, you know. And then once I did my first, you know, hard money with Kiko Capital, and once everything went through, I was like, oh my God, the leverage is just insane. So it turned out really well, and that's why we got like 7 or 8, you know, in the pipeline going with Kiko Capital. And then we'll show some pictures. But yeah, the number one thing that I talked about yesterday was your why, and how important your why is. Like, whatever your background is, wherever you come from, you know, like, say your family, or why you work at your job, why you're here today. You know, your why needs to be super strong in order to get to where you need to be. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today for my family. See, that's Makoa back there. So we came to visit him, you know. I don't work for nobody else, bro. I work for myself. And, you know, I call the shots now. I wake up when I want. So that's my why. I'm accomplishing it. And, you know, think about that as you wake up every day. The choices you make when you wake up determines your future. So think about that. Zasha, you have anything on that?
Letting you take the stage. No, I think it's very important, definitely, you know, to have, in order, people ask, you know, like, oh, how did you guys do it? How are you so successful? It's like, we always kept in the back of our mind, you know, the purpose, the mission, and we're very passionate people, because of where we came from. And I see it as a strength. And so really try to think of, okay, what makes you happy, what makes you get up every day? Like, why do you want a change? Like, a lot of people want to change, they just don't know what it is or what it might be. But I think, like he had mentioned yesterday, like, there's so much opportunity out there, it's crazy. And sometimes you get, you know, shiny object syndrome, and whatever the case may be, you don't know what the next step is. But I think once you focus and you figure out what you want to do, set a specific goal, you can do anything. Like, I remember last year, I always do my vision board, and I think of things that are like, okay, this is not possible. I put like beyond bigger pockets, you know, millionaire, all this kind of stuff. And it all came true. It's crazy, because I was just like, you know, I was just at my job, just, you know, we were okay, but we weren't, you know, wealthy. And now I have all this time freedom. It is stressful. I'm always working because I love it, but I'm working for myself. I have flexibility. I get to be there for my kids. I get to spend more time with my husband, and I can pick up and leave and change anything throughout. I like was just at Brandon Turner's house a couple weeks ago because to be on a podcast, like, I dropped everything. And that's the beauty of, you know, getting into something that you're passionate about, but also makes money, right? And then also you can give back too. So, figure out, you know, what really, better words, but I think me and Fuzzy connected on that level, is that we know what we want to do and where we want to go. It's just like finding the path and the people to help us get there.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Or am I coming? Okay, perfect. I've got like one bar. Sorry if I get locked out, then you gotta take it on.
Okay, let's run through this. Let's run through it.
Okay, I get plenty lessons, you know, like that I learned throughout this process. So like hiring the right people, you know, getting involved with this new development side. I hooked up with someone who was a developer, but his vision wasn't like mine to give back. It was more on the, I would say, me, I side. So what happened was I did a deal with him. I purchased a lot for like, I think it was like $8,000. And then anyway, long story short, he stopped doing project management or being the partner on the project. And that with that project was the only project that I would call my learning lesson, that I had to pay my the credit card debt, right? Because it was lines of credit and credit cards that had 12 months to 18 months of 0% interest. But then the project went past that, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Plenty sleepless nights. And you know, it was very stressful. But with that said, you know, when you go into any type of projects or JV with someone, just make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you find out who that person is, because then you don't end up, you know, going down that road that I did. But it did turn into a positive. So that's why I'm, you know, doing brand new builds still, because I learned everything from what he did. So the 8 steps that I use is location, location, location. I always go into a neighborhood and find out what is the average or what is the square foot of houses are selling. And I look for the number of days that the houses are sitting on the market. The lower, the better. And then, you know, you always got to have a real estate agent, right? Or someone that is selling either lots in the area that you're looking in. Once you find out that location, wholesalers, right? You can always do marketing on your own self. And then my partner is messing my numbers up. My bullet points.
Okay, wait.
Right. So yeah, so like there's different ways that like people send me deals, because now like they know Fuzzy builds houses on the Big Island. They'll send, you know, wholesale me a deal. Like Stacy sent me a deal just the other day, like, hey, you looking for a property in Volcano? I'm like, I'll send the TMK. And I'm like, did my research. And with her, I always lowball everybody. Like I always try to lowball wholesalers, because I know they're gonna make 20 grand off of you, right? 10, 20 grand. So I always try to squeeze them out, because you know they make pretty good money just selling the deal to me. But anyway, it turned out good. And this is the second property she sold to me. So so that's how I found land, or you know, like relationships through people, you know. And then the third way, the number 3 is I underwrite my costs, right? I work with contractors who can give me my budget, right? So the first thing I do is look for the costs of land. If I can get the land cheaper in that neighborhood, I'm ahead of the game, right? Always buying your properties cheaper than what others are selling for at retail. That gives you a head start, because that gives you more buffer on the back end. Then, you know, the planning part, I always use the same plans over and over. I go to whatever houses that's selling in that area. I build the same house, 3-bedroom or whatever it may be. And then I make it look almost exactly like that once it's done. And, you know, I work with general contractors, because one of my good friends is a general contractor. I usually not supposed to do this, but I borrow his license. I pay him for the license fee, and then I manage all my projects. up on the Big Island. And then during the brand new builds, you got to deal with different subs and relationships, right? And then of course all the inspections from the slab all the way to the finish, and handing over the keys to either the agent or the end buyer. And then you rinse and repeat, do the same thing over and over and over. And currently we've got like 25 plus projects and more coming, I believe, because that webinar yesterday just went off the chain, and a bunch of people are already looking to help with the cause to purchase land, so we can lock in the prices now, because ever since I started, prices have just been only going up, 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 up. So anybody on this call that want to do any passive income partnerships, DM us in the comment. How you like that? Anyway, this is one of our projects here. This is one of the pre-approved plans from HPM. It's called the Puamelia. And when I say pre-approved, in the county of Hawaii, this house is approved through their engineers. So to get your building permits takes anywhere from like 2 to 3 months. So it speeds up my process. And this is kind of what the average houses look like in the on the Big Island. The 1,200 square foot living, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a carport. And this house we built for about, I think we were all in about 250 something, 253. And then we ended up listing it for we didn't even put it on the market. We sold this one to a single mom from Makaha, and we gave her a credit. Ended up selling it to her for $350, and it appraised for more. And she's super stoked with her house. I'm gonna stay here for. Where you guys going? Zasha.
What's up?
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, go to the next. Okay, the comps. Go back. Okay, so you see the comps in like this property was in Stardust. Right now the comps. So this is another way I can look on how to find what the average or the lowest, the highest. I'll ask the agent for the comps of these ones are all sold comps. So you see 330 is the lowest, the highest is 435, average 365, and then the median 359, right? So that's how I can find out my end number. And I usually will go with the lower number and find out, okay, how much my land is. I gotta get the land at a discount. And then if my budget to build the house comes in way lower than the 330, then that's where my difference is, right? My profit potential. So because we're in at about I think we're in about 253, and we sold for 350, it was close to 100K profit, even giving the girl credit, and the house appraised at like 20 or 30,000 above what we sold it for to her. Okay. And then here's the check that we got from the Oyster group, proof that we got 25K. And then the letter, right? The letter saying Fuzzy, he's a clown, so don't believe him. And here, this what they say: provide a group, carry out all activities under the grant in accordance, blah blah blah. Okay, Zasha, hit this one.
It's great when you have partners, right? You just hand it off. So basically, I feel like a lot of people on this call are already investors. So this is kind of for newbies. But if you still want a brief overview, this is typically how we raise money for new builds or any type of investment projects. Is 1, you can either use your own funds, 2, private money. which is from everyday individuals like you and me that want to invest, or there's people that do it professionally, but they're typically one individual. Then there's traditional funding through the Bank of Hawaii, conventional loans, and then there's hard money loans like Keiko Capital and bridge loans that you can get that are more institutionalized, but they do lend on new build projects or projects that are in distress that conventional financing might not qualify for. And then there's also owner financing. You can do that for land as well as houses, where if the seller owns the home or the piece of property outright, they can then become the bank and you make monthly payments to them. So there's ways to get creative as well. And like Fuzzy had mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, that he actually started partnering with somebody that brought the money. So that's always a great way, especially if you're just getting into it, or maybe you're just getting into new builds, right? If you have some money to put up front, whether that be all the money, whether that just be gap funding, whether it be qualifying for the loan, or you can bring in your own private lenders, that's an asset to a lot of people, a lot of investors, right? We're always looking for capital, always raising money. I'm also raising money for a Vegas flip luxury if you guys are interested, doing that too. Or you could use a HELOC or refinance if you own your own home, 401k, whole life policy. There's a bunch of different ways that you can raise money for deals. And so I think when I was starting off too, I thought the only way you could buy a home was to go through a bank, until I started surrounding myself by other investors, going to events, hopping on calls like this, and was like, oh, there's other ways. You don't have to worry about making all this money or DTI and all this other crazy stuff that the banks make you kind of jump through hoops to get. And so once I had that breakthrough, I was like, oh, so you can buy unlimited amount of deals, right? It just all depends on the numbers, and then also, raising money for the deal using other people's money. So that's been huge. And Keiko Capital, we both used them before and just have been really great as far as, somebody, a hard money lender being local, because that matters as well, because they'll know what the price points are. They're easier to work with, and they are also going to be with us next Saturday, hopefully. Fuzzy, take it away. Unmute yourself.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, one thing that I wanted to also mention, like whole life policies too. I used my wife and mine and my baby's policy. We put money out as tax-free money. So that's another way people, if they have whole life policy, they can use that and have it tax-free. But anyway, here's pictures of prior to our getting our building permits. We already kind of find the pin while we're in escrow, and then once we get the land on the contract, we already have our clearing guy on the ground. As soon as we close, he's already ready to go, and they flatten the land and they put the septic tank, prep for the concrete, pour concrete, frame, and then go through all the electrical, plumbing, rough-ins, drywall, paint, and finish, and boom, done deal. Yes, sir. Let's go. So basically, like she's saying, if you stayed this far, you guys are champs. So come on the bus tour if you can. And we'll probably have another one, maybe in Maui.
So we just we had got a lot of inquiries from people after we were starting to share about how we're doing affordable housing projects. And a lot of people wanted to kind of come along and see it, right? And we also are looking for potential lenders to lend on our deals as well. So we would love to show anybody who is potentially interested either in partnering, lending, or, being a part of something kind of like this. We're doing a bus tour and a mastermind. We just hopped on a phone with Corey. Hopefully Keiko Capital can come out, where we're going to be touring 4 projects from raw land, slabs to finished homes. So everything you guys seen in that picture, you're going to meet all the suppliers and the lenders. Well, not all, but the main supplier, HPM, and the lenders. Like Fuzzy has worked years and years to maintain these relationships, get these connections. And, we want to share that with you guys. And of course, there's different relationships, but even to have somebody to share those invaluable connections with you is going to be just well worth it. And I mean, I even feel honored to be a part of this and be able to showcase.
Even in Maui, Hawaii, or Oahu, I still can get the connections of materials from the Big Island connections, the planning, all that stuff. So if you guys need help with that part, because each island, they have a HPM there that has a planning department. The guys that do drawings, they stamp the plans and they route it for you. So it makes it an easier process because they're in the county all the time. So that might be another way if you're doing a brand new build for yourself, or looking to get into building new homes. Just let me know. I can help with that connection.
So are you guys doing all these developments only in Hilo, or are you doing other parts of Big Island too?
Right now we're trying to get Corey's projects finished on Oahu. I know it's been a struggle, but the county is totally different on Oahu than it is on the Big Island. So it's pretty sad what's happening on Oahu, and I'm pretty sure on Maui too. So.
But do you guys do other like, are you only in the Hilo side of Big Island, or you do other sides like Kona, Waimea, anything like?
We're open, but the prices is way more different on those sides of the island per square foot, because the subs or the general contractors, they're charged way more because they know they can get that price.
That was a great question, because that was a great question, Joe, because it is like when we talk about ground up construction, because some people are not from Hawaii, they won't, unfortunately, may not have the ability to be there next weekend. But how does it pertain to everybody? Well, when we think about ground up construction, it's just one strategy in real estate, right? But ground up construction is, especially in these times, you want to stay local, right? Like Melina from New Earth always says that, like, especially in these times where we don't really know where the market's going to go. And the best thing to do is find emerging markets. Just like anytime you're going to go into a new venture or new market, you want to do some research and try to embed in that area. Because if you knew that area where Fuzzy's building, where Fuzzy and Zasha are teaming up now, then you know that market, HPP, Ainaloa, Volcano, has been emerging since I've known Fuzzy, because he's been telling me from the first day I called him from the bandit side that back then, like, land was like basically free over there, and but even though the land is free, when you're doing ground up construction or residential development, the cost isn't in the land, or most of the time it's not in the land, it's in the infrastructure and the development costs, and the time, especially if you're in an area that takes forever, like Honolulu, so but in these times, that it's still, ground up construction is still a great strategy. Just be careful in these times in what areas you're doing it, right? Make sure it's an emerging market and make sure you can sustain for a year, possibly two, and you have multiple exit strategies, right? Like how Zasha and Fuzzy had on the slide, you either buy, build to sell, or to keep, right? So you have multiple exit strategies, and they're buying in an emerging area, which is great, because when things turn, usually those areas are, if they're affected, it's not as bad, right? So, but all I see is up and to the right in the Hilo side. So, but great question, Joe. Zasha, you want to take it away, or Fuzzy?
Yeah, so we are having a special for this tour. If you type in early bird, you click on the link in the chat, you guys can get 50% off. Like I said, there's only 8 tickets left. We started with 40 like yesterday afternoon. So we know that the need is there. People want to come. And this will just help us try to cover costs of renting the bus, the time for the other people to come. And then also we're going to include lunch as well. And so we're not trying to do this to make money. We just want to be able to shuttle you guys all together and give you, the tour of our project and really showcase what we're doing in a way that will still be organized, because the vendors that we have need to prepare as well. But I'm really excited for this, and we would love for anybody who's interested to come and join us. And we just planned this out, so it's like next week Saturday. But I mean, you can tell that the need is there, and that we would love to inspire you guys, just really show you there's nothing like seeing something like in real life, like as it goes on. And we're blessed enough that there's multiple projects in like from start to finish. So that's kind of all we got. And thank you guys for kind of having us on. If you have any questions or inquiries like Joe had brought up, definitely want to share with you guys, or be able to answer any questions. But this was yesterday, and I love this story. This is one of my good friends, Ethan, who's also a realtor. But this is one of the most recent projects we did here on Maui that kind of went full circle. And a realtor had contacted me. There was another local lady who had kind of let her house in Wailuku kind of, just get distressed, like the roof caving in, structures shifting, people were like trying to live in there, and it was a headache for her. And the realtor called me and let me know, like, hey, think about listing in this, but if you want, if you can work with her, she just really wants to, see this place be different and see it fixed up. So we ended up fully renovating this house. The actual owner, I never met her, but I post my journey right along the way in my stories on Instagram or through posts. The owner actually contacted me on Instagram and wanted to come and see the place before we had listed it on the market. And she was just, so heartfelt and like crying, and just like, I don't know, she's just so happy that we got to bring this home like back to life, basically revive it. And once we put it on the market, it was like the end of last year, or like towards the end of last year, and there were so many people putting in bids. And this couple right here to the right, they had put in, like, no joke, I think they Ethan told me like 50 or 60 offers over the last year and a half, and none of them got it. Like, they were at this point putting in offers for condos or just anything because they had to be out of their house. And we had gotten offers from, all cash offers from people from the mainland. And we got, higher bids from people that, I don't know. I just, when they say like send the letter in with your offer, like do that, because you never know who's like gonna read it. And I read their story. They weren't the highest offer. But at the same time, I was able to make, the profit that we had hit for. And that's the thing that I like to share with people, as like, as investors and even as like flippers, you can choose to give back in that sort of way by choosing to sell to a local family, or sell to somebody that needed it. And this house had a cottage on it, and they're going to put the mom in there to help take care of her as she ages. And so that really hit a heartstring for me. And Ethan went to bat for his buyers, and he would like call me every day or text me and be like, please just help this family. And we ended up moving forward, and we went through 9 extensions. So it wasn't an easy feat to go through either. It got extended a couple months because of the rate changes and the rate locks, and just the loan product that they were applying for. But we stuck it through the end, and now they're living there. And they asked Ethan to ask me to come be there while they moved in. Like the first day of them moving in, they wanted to just thank me. And that's one of the things, is like, when you take a step back and realize like what you're doing is bigger than you. And this is one of those moments. And I just like to reiterate like how else we can give back to the community. And it doesn't have to be necessarily like monetary things, but just choosing to house another family is so integral. And I can't even imagine the struggle now trying to get a house, and how much competition there is out there, and how defeated some of these buyers feel. And some of my friends even had told me, oh, I didn't know it was you, not this particular house, but another house in Makwa. I didn't know it was you. I was going to put in an offer, but my agent told me somebody put in a really high offer, all cash. I was like, just put in the offer. Like, you don't know until you put it out there. But, you know, regular people living their everyday lives don't know that, don't know the behind the scenes. And to regular people, like they're going to buy one house and they're going to live in it for the rest of their life. So it's a huge decision. So I think I just want to put it out there to our community, and just to, you know, the community as a whole, is that there are ways to get into homes, and good people out there that are trying to sell to local families as well. But yeah, that's all we got.
That's awesome story.
I love that. And how could you not love that? You know, like, and I think that's why having a, you know, platforms and you guys taking charge and really being intentional about social media, even though sometimes it can be uncomfortable, and I'm sure you don't want yourself out there as much as you are sometimes, right? But when your purpose is that important, you know, then you put that ahead of anything else. And I, you know, I know that I'm not the only one, that there's many more people who appreciate it. And, you know, who knows how many lives you're changing, you know, just by turning on the camera, like you said, right? So, and if you guys want, you know, if you're in Hawaii, or even if you're not, then next weekend, I know it's a little short notice, like literally we were talking about this, like when we were talking about this, like the other night.
On Sunday or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's great that you're able to just, that's how you get things done, right? Fire ready, aim, and just see what happens. We can recalibrate later, right? And it looks like things are going well, and we'll see how the first one goes. The reason why I like this is because everybody wins, you know, like we can put up, you guys put on an event to showcase what you're doing. And if, you know, to bring awareness and to see if anybody wants to participate and invest, and, you know, in projects, boots on the ground, you can even go check it out. And if not, no worry, right? At least you'll leave with some education about investing and development, because it's a whole different game, right? It's totally different than fix and flip, even if it's still single family, right? It's just a different process. And there's pros and cons to both, but I feel like the more we know, the more dangerous we are, in the best way that I can say that sentence. You know, like, you want to be a dangerous person, somebody who can make things happen. And that's what you guys are doing. So I support you guys. We'll be there, you know, that weekend, and we'll see how much of our team can be there. And but we won't take up any seats, you know, kind of just be there for support and meet.
You'll be driving in the back of the bus.
I'll drive the bus. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I can drive it, but I can barely park a truck. So
Corey, so HPM opened up area for us to speak to our group at
Nice.
HPM. So with, you know, where you're able to do slides if you need to.
Absolutely, yeah, whatever you guys need. Yeah, this is I'm very excited that this is happening.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm right there alongside you guys, you know, and that is something that I want to support, and probably we will be getting a little bit more vocal, because again, I've said it so many times and I'll keep saying it, because really I think the problem of affordability is it's not politicians, it's not necessarily developers, realtors, it's supply and demand, right? And so how do we fight supply and demand? Well, you don't fight supply and demand. We can't control the market, you know, like all we can do is educate ourselves, like, you know, and then teach others to do the same. So if Hawaii people want to be able to afford to stay and live in Hawaii, then they have to understand investing, you know, a little bit of entrepreneurship too, at least for the mindset, you know, because I think the mindset is the biggest thing that we have to change with local people here, because it's not noble to live frugal, you know, in my opinion. It's not. Money is supposed to be a tool, and if you earn a lot of money, you should be using that money to invest in, hopefully things that make a big impact, but also bring you more money, you know, and your investors more money, which is what the plan is here, right? So I am 100% behind your guys' initiative in this project. So however we can support, we got your back. And if you guys are interested, please maybe if you guys can one last time scroll back to the QR code and then check it out. There's only 8 seats left, and that's not a scarcity move. We don't do that shit around here.
No, there's literally only 8. Yeah.
So, yep. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing and offering the opportunity. Hopefully that we can you know, get a few people to ride along with you guys. And then, you know, of course, we'll see you guys next week. Does anybody else have any questions for Zasha and Fuzzy? And then any final send-offs from you guys?
Burning desires. Somebody wrote something. Welcome. Thank you for Corey. Thank you for all your support. And then Zasha and I just talked about this last week, like, and her and her team winged the webinar and everything. Like, it's just like, what the hell? Now we on, like I said, we go on bus tour now. It's a trip, Corey. Like, I think me and her would be good to put together a Puka Pockets podcast. So I keep telling her, let's do a podcast.
I say do it all, you know, do it all. I think it's a great, I think the synergy is good. Obviously, same moral compass, same culture, same heart, you know, like, I'm very excited. When I say I'm excited, I'm excited about it. I want to watch, you know, and play a part as much as I can, you know. So and it is a trip, Fuzzy, and it is uncomfortable, you know. Like, I think we've all had to kind of step through that, you know. But I think it's necessary. You know, like, it's very necessary. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend. Again, hope you guys had a great Aloha Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully next weekend at the event. Aloha, everybody.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.